Hello students, today we are going to continue and chapter number 7, that is thermal properties of matter. The contents of this topic are heat equation, heat capacity, calorimetry and change of state. Heat equation. If a substance has a specific heat capacity of 1000 joule per degree centigrade, it means that the heat energy of 1000 joule raise the temperature of 1 kg of that substance by 1 degree centigrade or 6000 joule will raise the temperature 2 kg of substance by 3 degree centigrade. If the temperature of 2 kg mass of the substance falls by 3 degree centigrade, then heat given out would be 6000 joule. In general, we can write the heat equation as heat received or given out equals to mass into temperature change into specific heat capacity, or Q equals to M into T into S. Heat capacity. Heat capacity or thermal capacity of a body is the quantity of heat need to raise or lower the temperature of the whole body by 1 degree centigrade or 1 degree Kelvin. Thermal heat capacity can be written as heat received or given out equals to mass into 1 into specific heat capacity, means M into S. Here, as the rise or fall of temperature is 1 degree, and hence instead of T, here we can write 1, and hence the equation becomes Q equals to M into S. Heat capacity is measured in joule per degree centigrade, that is unit of heat capacity. Calorimetry. Calorimetry is an experimental technique for the quantitative measurement of heat exchange, means how much quantity of heat is exchanged between the substance and the calorimeter. To make such a measurement, a calorimeter is used. Calorimeter is shown in the figure. It shows a simple water calorimeter. It consists of cylindrical vessel made up of copper or aluminium and provided with this stirrer and a lid. This is lid. The calorimeter is well insulated to prohibit any transfer of heat into or out of the calorimeter. Calorimetry. One important use of calorimeter is to determine the specific heat of a substance using the principle of conservation of energy. Here we are dealing with heat energy and the system is isolated from the surrounding. Therefore, heat gain is equal to heat lost. And in this technique, the technique is known as method of mixture. A sample A of the substance is heated to a high temperature, which is accurately measured. The sample A is then placed quickly in a calorimeter containing water. Means the heat exchange in a calorimeter should be between water and the system. It should not be lost to the surrounding air. The contents are stirred constantly until the mixture attains a final common temperature. The heat lost by the sample A will be gained by the water and the calorimeter. The specific heat of the sample A can be calculated as, let M1 be mass of the sample, S1 is its specific heat capacity, and T1 is its initial temperature. M2, the 2 suffix is used for calorimeter and stirrer. M2 is mass of calorimeter and stirrer. S2 is specific heat capacity of material of calorimeter and stirrer. And T2 is initial temperature of calorimeter, stirrer and water. Now third one, M3 is mass of water in calorimeter. S3 specific heat capacity of water, and T is final temperature of the combined system. Now we have the following data. Heat lost by the sample is M1 into S1 into T1 minus T. Heat gained by the calorimeter and stirrer means the heat lost by A is gained by calorimeter and stirrer. It is M2S2 into T minus T2. Heat gained by the water is M3S3 into T minus T2. In all these, the formula used is heat gain or loss is equal to mass into specific heat into change in temperature. Assuming low loss of heat to the surrounding, the heat lost by the sample goes into the calorimeter, stirrer, and water. Thus, writing heat equation as M1S1 into T1 minus T means heat lost by A is equal to heat gain by calorimeter plus heat gain by water. That is his 2. Knowing the specific heat capacity, that is S3, which is 4186, and specific heat capacity of copper, that is S2, is 387. One can calculate the heat capacity S1 from this equation. M1S1 into T1 minus T equals to M2S2 into T minus T2 plus M3S3 into T minus T2. Taking common T minus T2 from this right hand side, we get this next step. And hence S1 equals to M2S2 plus M3S3 T minus T2 upon M1 T1 minus T. Also, one can find specific heat capacity of water or any liquid using the following expression. If the specific heat capacity of the material of the calorimeter and sample is known, M1S1 into T1 minus T, again we are writing the same equation, that is equation 1, M2S2 into T minus T2, M3S3 into T minus T2. We can derive the expression for S3 as M1S1 in bracket T1 minus T upon M3 in bracket T minus T2 minus M2S2 upon M3. In the experiment, heat from the sample A is given to the liquid, and therefore the sample should be denser than the liquid so that it does not float on the liquid. Now change of state. Matter normally exists in 3 states: solid, liquid, and gases. We are familiar with this. A transition from one of these states to another is called change of state. 2 common change of state are solid to liquid and liquid to gas. These changes can occur when exchange of heat takes place between the substance and its surroundings. Activity. To understand the dependence of boiling point on pressure. To understand the process of change of state, take some cubes of ice in a beaker. Note the temperature of ice. It is 0 degree. Start heating it slowly on a constant heat source. Note the temperature after every minute. Continuously stir the mixture of water and ice. Observe the change in temperature. Continue heating even after whole ice get converted into water. Observe the change in temperature as before till water vapor start coming out. Then plot the graph of temperature versus time. temperature along y-axis and time along x-axis, as time is an independent quantity and hence it should be plotted along x-axis. The graph will be as shown in figure. Analysis of observation. We will analyze this graph. From the point A to B, there is no change in temperature from A to B. This means that temperature of the ice bath does not change even though heat is being continuously supplied. That is, temperature remains constant until the entire amount of ice melts. The heat supplied is being utilized in changing the state from solid to liquid. The change of state from solid to liquid is called melting, and from liquid to solid is called sublimation. Both the solids and liquid state of the substance coexist in thermal equilibrium. During the change of state from solid to liquid and vice versa, the temperature at which solid and the liquid state of the substance are in thermal equilibrium with each other is called the melting point of solid. Means when solid is just converted into liquid, that point, that temperature is called as melting point. And these two, it means these two states coexist in thermal equilibrium. This temperature is called as melting point or freezing point of liquid. It is the characteristics of the substance and also depends on pressure. The melting point of substance at one standard atmospheric pressure is called its normal melting point. At one standard atmospheric pressure, the freezing point of water and the melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade or 32 degree Fahrenheit. The freezing point describes the liquid to solid transition, while melting point describes solid to liquid transition. Now from B to D, P, C, D. The temperature begin to rise from B to C. That is after the whole ice get converted into water and we continue further heating, we see that temperature begin to rise. The temperature keeps on rising till it reach the point C, that is nearly 100 degree centigrade. Then it again becomes steady. It is observed that the temperature remains constant until the entire amount of the liquid is converted into vapor. The liquid supplied, the heat supplied is now being utilized to change water from liquid state to vapor or gaseous state. Change of state is continued. The change of state from liquid to vapor is called vaporization, while from vapor to liquid is called condensation. Both the liquid and vapor state of the substance coexist in thermal equilibrium during the change of state from liquid to vapor. How liquid is converted into vapor? If heat is given to liquid, then vapors forms. The temperature at which the liquid and the water vapor states of the substance coexist is called boiling point. Here water or steam point. This is also the temperature at which water vapor condenses to form water. The boiling point of substance at one standard atmospheric pressure is called its normal boiling point. You must have seen that water spilled on floor dries up after some time. Where does the water disappear? It is converted into water vapor and mixed with air. We say that water has evaporated. You also know that water can be converted into water vapor if You heat the water till its boiling point. Then what is the difference between boiling and evaporation? First, we will see the process and we'll continue the theory. This is evaporation, this is boiling. In boiling, bubbles can form and rise. They move upward. And in this evaporation, bubbles cannot form. Boiling occurs inside. Evaporation means it moves in upward direction. Okay. Both evaporation and boiling involve change of state. Evaporation can occur at any temperature, but boiling takes place at fixed temperature for a given pressure, unique for each liquid. Means boiling point is unique. It is different for different liquid. Evaporation takes place from the surface of liquid while boiling occurs in the whole liquid. As you know, molecules in a liquid are moving about randomly. The average kinetic energy of the molecule decides the temperature of the liquid. However, all the molecules do not move with the same speed. One with higher kinetic energy may escape from the surface region by overcoming the interatomic force. This process can take place at any temperature. This is evaporation. And if the temperature of the liquid is higher, more is the average kinetic energy. Since the number of molecules is fixed, it implies that the number of fast moving molecules is more. Hence, the rate of losing some molecules to atmosphere will be larger. Thus, higher is the temperature of the liquid, greater is the rate of evaporation. Since faster molecules are lost, the average kinetic energy of the liquid is reduced and hence temperature of the liquid is lower. Hence, the phenomenon of evaporation gives a cooling effect to the remaining liquid. Since evaporation takes place from the surface of a liquid, the rate of evaporation is more if the area exposed is more and if temperature of the liquid is high. Listen again, the phenomenon of evaporation gives a cooling effect to the remaining liquid. Means when we apply spirit swab, then we feel a cool on that surface and doctor applies spirit swab before injecting. You might have seen, if your mother wants her clothes to dry faster, she does not fold them. More is the area exposed, faster is the drying because the water get evaporated faster. The presence of wind or strong breeze and content of water vapor in the atmosphere are two other important factors determining the drying of clothes, but we do not refer to them here. Application of or example of evaporation. Before giving an injection to a patient, normally a spirit swab is used to disinfect the region. We feel a cooling effect on our skin due to evaporation. Now, activity to understand the dependence of boiling point on pressure. For this, take a round bottom flask, more than half filled with water. Keep it over a burner and fix a thermometer like this and steam outlet through the cork of the flask. As the water in the flask gets heated, note that first the air which was dissolved in the water comes out as small bubbles. Later, bubbles of steam form at the bottom. But as they rise to the cooler, water near the top, they condense and disappear.
Effect of pressure on the boiling point of water. Fill a round bottom flask with water. Arrange the apparatus as shown here. Heat the water in the flask till it starts boiling. Release the steam with the help of the stopcock of the thermometer. The thermometer shows 100 degrees centigrade. Now trap the steam inside the flask. What do you observe? We observe that there is an increase in the thermometric reading. This is because the pressure inside the flask increases due to the trapping of steam. Now remove the burner and set up the apparatus as shown here. Pour cold water on the flask. The steam condenses. We observe that the water is boiling at temperature below 100 degrees centigrade. This shows that the boiling point of a liquid can be raised by increasing the pressure and reduced by decreasing the pressure. Application. An application of increase in boiling point under increased pressure is made use of in a pressure cooker. In a pressure cooker, the steam is trapped inside. This increases the pressure. As a result, boiling point of water increases to about 120 degrees centigrade to 125 degrees centigrade. Thus, cooking of vegetables and pulses becomes easier and quicker in a pressure cooker.
Numerical. If the temperature of 4 kg mass of material of specific heat capacity 300 joule per kg degree centigrade rise from 20 to 30, find the heat received. As we know, this formula, that is heat loss or heat gain. Here we have to find heat received, which heat gain is equal to mass into change in temperature into specific heat. Okay, mass is given 4 kg, change in temperature, that is rise in temperature 20 to 30, and hence 30 minus 20, upper minus lower, and S is specific heat, that is 300. The answer is 12,000 joule heat is received. Find the thermal capacity for a copper block of mass 0.2 kg if specific heat capacity of copper is 290 joule per kg per degree centigrade. Solution. Given mass 0.2 kg, specific heat 290, then thermal capacity is equal to mass into specific heat. Here, no need to write T, and hence 0.2 into 290 is equal to 58 joule per degree centigrade. Assignment on this topic is, there are number of questions. State heat equation, define heat capacity, what do you understand by calorimetry, neat label diagram of calorimeter, use of calorimeter, what is change of state of matter, what is solidification, vaporization, normal boiling point, why cooking is difficult at high altitude, why it is faster in pressure cooker, and what is the specific heat of a metal if 50 calorie of heat is needed to raise 6 kg of metal from 20 to 62 degrees centigrade. Try to answer all the question. Try to solve this numerical also. Answer is given. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.